Whoa. $3,800 milliamps. Ooh. These had pretty good batteries in them. They had to because they were power hungry. Now, floppy drive. We'll let that die with the machine. Looks like somebody's been in here already. Take a look. So I got some RAM here. If I can release it. Doesn't say what it is. I bet it's probably like 256 or 512. Doesn't really say. Unknown RAM. See there? Little battery. CMOS battery. I'll only keep it if it's a rewriter. Okay. Got a little webcam. Lithium ion, 11.1 volt, 57 watts. Yep. Yep, somebody already grabbed that stuff. I finished up the whole batch of them, got the parts I needed. These will be going out the door. Okay, now I'll show you what I'm going to do with the batteries. Let me put some of these parts away first. Alright, let's process some batteries. Our friend, the lithium battery. I'm going to show you how I handle this. It's quite brutal, so if you're squeamish, look away. Getting ready for fires. Don't want to press on the battery. Try not to. Yeah, I know it's brutal. I tried the nice way and it just wasn't working. So this is my quickest route. Charging electronics. There's 8 batteries in here. They're all wired up with mostly these little wires like this for jumpers. And then they use this tab wire. Okay. Make sure the wires are touching. Anyway, That's how I get my batteries. I bring them over here, lighting them up, getting them ready to put in the charger after I test them on another thing. These are batteries that are done that I've already charged. And this is the charging station setup, and I mostly use this machine. If you're interested in a good lithium charger, I'll put a link in the description to that machine right there. Really like it. For really stubborn batteries, I'll use this charger here, and sometimes it kick starts them, so I can put them on something that's more reliable. But if they're really low in voltage, sometimes I'll put them on here, and it brings them up high enough where this will recognize them, is what it amounts to. When these get to 420, they'll begin discharging. 420 is considered full. This one's almost ready to start. Then it will discharge down to about 2.8. The 18650s are done cooking, and you can display through and see what happened. So that's the voltage you're currently sitting at. They're full. That's how long it took, 4 hours. And this, those numbers are milliamp hour, and those are the final test results. So 1145 milliamp hour for the first one. I'll write that on the sticker and then go to the next batch. There's one more test you can do that will, it's kind of nice. It's just a real quick test. And what it does, let's run one. It'll take a few seconds. That gives you an ohms reading, and the lower the ohms, like in the hundreds, are better. So this is actually our best battery here. And then this is the worst, according to history of doing these tests. Sometimes I'll run this test, and if I see a battery up 300 or 400, I'll just throw it in the junk pile. But these will be fine. Okay, I've got the date, the year, and the milliamp hours. What I'm thinking about doing with some of these cells is making an e-bike. You can buy electric hubs for bicycles. I got a couple bicycles I want mine electrifying. We'll see how many batteries we get. I'll leave a link in the description to the Amazon store that you can buy this great charger. It's one of the best. It's not that much money either. Nice little tip is if you put the battery in and it says null, what it's really telling you is the battery doesn't have enough usable voltage to be detected. But that doesn't mean it's curtains for the battery. If you just put enough charge in here so that this recognizes that you can continue on, and a lot of times these are perfectly fine. Generally they're down past 1 volt, but I've seen them come back quite strong. I'll show you how I do that on my little rig. I 3D printed this battery holder. And I'm putting the batteries in it because I'm going to hook them up to a charger that isn't really used for these, but it works just to get enough voltage in them to get started. This is the charger I use, and it's an old field charger for lithium batteries and NiCads. And it's not really computerized. It is, but it doesn't complain about low batteries. So what I'll do, use this to monitor the voltage. So see, 4 batteries combined is only 0.04 volts, which isn't good. So I'll let them cook on this for a while. We'll bring them up. See how it kicked in? So it'll put a volt or two in them, then we'll move them back over to the other charger. So it's only been a few minutes, and you can see it's 1.7 volts and rising. Charge test, 700 milliamps each. So flashlights like this usually will take either 3 AAA or 18650 battery. And so what I do is all my batteries that are under 1000 milliamp hour, I'll save for flashlights and low power devices. This one is quite low, 41 milliamp hour, but it powers a flashlight just fine. In fact, it's brighter than it would be with the AAAs. So even flashlights like this you can get fairly cheap. They'll come with an adapter for 3 AAAs, or just put your junk batteries in these and they'll last for a long time. And then when they die, you just recharge them. See, that one's at 33. Some of them in the box are 3,000 and 4,000, so these are really dead compared to those, but they work just fine for flashlights. So yeah, it's worth saving these. Also, power banks that you use for USB devices contain 18650 batteries. You can crack this open and change it out. A lot of stuff works on 18650s. It's the future. Here's these battery adapters I was talking about that the flashlight usually comes with. One of these. And it's the same size as the 18650 battery. Imagine that. Okay, that should be enough of a charge to put them in my Opus. Let's put them back in here. See, 361, or rather 3.61 volts. So now it recognizes them, so then we just start charging again. Pure nickel strip. Powerful. Very powerful. I made these wires out of an old set of jumper cables. And then this probe setup. This is just one of those French terminal connectors. And then some wire. This is like household electrical wire, like 12 gauge maybe. And I just chiseled the points, stripped the insulation. This is just an auto solenoid, just a standard 12 volt. This is a momentary switch. It just makes contacts when it's pushed in, but then when you let go, it automatically jumps out. This is what we're going to use. You can wire it either normally open or normally closed, just like a micro switch. It's like every time I do a video, even if it's about something totally unrelated, I always end up soldering. If you have this too close, then it becomes a heat sink. So you can't have your clamp really close. You have to heat up all that metal. There we go. See the pool? Now that's a good joint. Squeeze this part so it acts as a strain relief. Yeah. That's probably hot. Let's check our other one here. Yeah, that one's pretty good. So that one's good. Alright, back to the build. What are we building, you ask? You'll see. So the solenoid acts like a relay, and it allows me to dump the entire contents of the battery like a dead short using this small push button. So a little energy controls a big energy. This would typically go in your car to start it, between the battery, your key, and the starter. But we're just using it for our probe. Man. Don't ever buy cheap adjustable wrenches. They're junk. They're too hard to use. You'll set this and then it'll move. You know, look at the play in that thing. Okay, this isn't like a permanent setup. This is just for testing, okay? So what do we have here? We have our positive of our solenoid going to our battery. We have our negative terminal coming to one of our pieces of wire. We've got the other piece of wire going on the other side, so when this solenoid opens, we'll have positive and negative on each of these. And when you make contact with the metal, it's going to give a little spot weld. And we're going to spot weld our batteries together, hopefully. That's the solenoid. Well, let's try it out. I need a handle or something for this. For now, I'm just going to try holding the wires. Famous last words, huh? Ready? Didn't do shit. Well, that's disappointing. Well, that time it made a spark. I just didn't press hard enough. Look at that. Let's put another one in it. I gotta press in. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely working. That's kind of hot, a little bit warm. But yeah, look at that. Now you could put batteries in parallel. See if we can tack another one on. That's working great. This welds a lot better than my first one because I learned to hold it for a second. Yeah, With a little practice, I think you could use this for spot welding. Whoa! That scared me. I think I need to come up with a better system to hold these pins, because these are now bent. Straight down would be the best, that way it won't bend on you. How about if I clean these tips up? They're kind of burnt. I might be able to use this. We're just prototyping. This way it'll be a force downward every time, and these won't bend. Well, they might not be as liable to bend. Not sure how close these should be. I'll just glue the button right there with some hot glue. There we go. Oh, that was a good one. Yeah, okay. I think the trick is to make sure that the probes are even on it. So what I'm doing is I'm flattening it out, then I squeeze. That seems to do it. Yeah, that's solid. I'm just freestyling it. So the trick is to get both these pins to touch evenly. Then it does a bang-up job. I'm happy with that. So some spring-loaded pins would be in order, and I bet you could buy that whole thing or make it. So here's a couple I did. Pretty strong too. So yeah, I think this is a good proof of concept machine. I think I proved a point that this would work, and you could always put an Arduino timer on this as well once you dial it in. And you could even have like a preheat so it wasn't so sudden. There's a lot of things you could do, but just this rig in its most basic form would probably work for most jobs as well. I'll put a link to the battery charger and the solenoid in the description if you want to try to build your own. And give me some ideas what you think I should do with all these 18650 batteries. I'm not really sure what to make. I thought about motorizing a bicycle, but there's other uses as well, so let me know what you would do with all these batteries. Ring that bell, hit the like button, leave a comment, let me know that you care. Thank you very much. We'll see you on the next one. Bye for now. It's the end of the video. Did you fall asleep or are you still watching? Hey, since you're here anyway, ring the bell down below. Come on, it's easy.